Today I want to talk in more detail about sleep and fat loss and how sleep can actually decrease your muscle mass and increase your fat mass. Now, we look at sleep, and it's really the foundation of the two pillars, diet and exercise. And it's important, or more important than that. So I want to talk about how sleep affects fat loss, some of the science behind it, and then some of the factors about sleep and fat loss, some tips to help improve your sleep, as well, so that you can help with your fat loss journey. So we'll talk about Matthew Walker's book, Why We Sleep, the science behind that. He's a scientist and has probably done the most research on sleep, and he's got a #1 best-selling book, and it goes into many things, but it has a lot of good tips surrounding fat loss and the importance of it. So he says sleep is the neglected stepchild of health and fitness. And so I'm going to go through some of the factors that he mentions in the book as it relates to fat loss. So first I want to talk about sleep deprivation and how it reduces fat burn and increases muscle breakdown. And when we talk about being sleep deprived or having insufficient sleep, we're looking at really less than 6 hours for that. And the typical person gets maybe around 7 hours, and that, less than 7 hours, and that's about 70% of the population right now. So if you're underslept, your body is going to be very stingy when giving up fat. And if you're dieting, this can lose weight from muscle mass. So it's depriving the body of certain things, and the body then metabolizes protein instead of fat. Therefore, insufficient sleep will compromise your ability to maintain its proper body composition. So a lack of sleep also means that you got more chances of getting infections, diseases, more chance of getting sick, especially like common colds. Therefore, you're going to miss more workouts, and you're probably going to eat poorly or not according to your plan. So when you have sufficient sleep, which is about 7 to 9 hours, your body's more resilient, you're more robust. You can fight off infections at an earlier stage. Next thing then is a lack of sleep can age a man by 10 years, which means your testosterone levels can be of a man 10 years older. Sleep is important for testosterone in females as well. Testosterone is important for females, but we know that if you're only getting 4 to 5 hours sleep, then your testosterone levels are going to be a lot lower. Also, testosterone helps, or is important, as it can build muscle. It can help keep you lean. It helps muscles recover. So it's very important to kind of maintaining that muscle mass overall. Improves bone density as well. As regards females, like I said, testosterone is important. Also, a dysregulated sleep will have an effect on your menstrual cycle, which again can affect with other hormones as well, the dysregulation of hormones. So other hormones can be affected. We know the leptin and ghrelin, which are satiety hormones and your hunger hormones. Cortisol, your stress regulation hormone, can be affected, and insulin, which regulates blood sugar. All these will be affected due to, with the lack of sleep. They can disrupt the regulation of these hormones. I think we know that 4 nights of poor sleep can increase insulin resistance by up to 16%. Studies have shown if you're short on sleep for 1 week, your blood work can show up as being pre-diabetic. So this, disrupts again the regulation of hormones, which impairs the capacity to regulate, your blood sugar. We also know with the brain itself, lack of sleep, you can respond in different ways. It can really decrease your willpower. So we know that, the studies have shown that you give way to eating pleasurable foods, the next day after a poor night's sleep. And also kind of regulates your positive and negative emotions and regulates impulses and logic. So we know that you're going to be more impulsive the next day after a poor night's sleep, and you, like I said, it just gives way to eating those pleasurable foods that you don't really want or that you eat too much of. 1 night or bad sleep can mean an increase of eating, I think it was shown, like 559 calories, that day. So underslept people are also more likely to eat like simple starchy carbs that are low in fiber, which then of course doesn't help sleep the next day. It makes you kind of wake up during the night because you're not full. So you wake up in the middle of the night hungry. So that we know that your body is looking for energy, so might choose these type of foods the next day as well. So that can, like I said, that can affect your deep sleep, which is your important sleep, the following night as well. So we know that sleep can kind of erode or affect performance the next day. If you're working out, or if you're in activity, if you're in competition, if you're an athlete, it can affect those performances the next day. If you just want to do a long run the next day, it can affect that. Or if you want to do like a workout in the morning, you're less likely to skip the workout or have a bad workout. So what we do know is there are lots of tips to help improve this sleep, like turn your phone off at night, TVs, reducing screen time late at night, dimming the lights at night time, eating not too late, so maybe within about 2 hours of your bedtime. Exercising helps to go to sleep, but if you want to maybe not exercise, about 2 hours again before you go to bed. Reducing caffeine and alcohol. We know that caffeine also has a half-life of up to like 12 hours, so it can still be in the system. So you want to reduce the caffeine intake as early as possible. Going to bed and getting up at a consistent time, the same time. We often see people who go to bed late on the weekends and they try to get up on Monday morning, then it's a lot more difficult if you're not getting up like the same time. So these things can help get a good night's sleep, which is just, again, it's a cycle. You want to get sleep to kind of to be productive in the day, and then get a good night's sleep again the following night. So this is how sleep can affect fat loss, weight loss for you. So it's very important, along with your diet, along with your activity and your workouts. These three things together will help you live a happier, healthy life. Hope this helps.